Let's go!
What's up guys, Phil here today with another video, and today I'll be talking about the overview of my HP Omen. Very good laptop. So what we're going to start off with is basically just the general design of this laptop. It is a very pretty looking laptop in my opinion. It is very sleek. For a gaming laptop, it doesn't scream I'm a gamer. It really doesn't scream I'm a gamer. For ports, we got a SD card reader here. Of course it needs to have an SD card reader. Microphone headphone jack combo, HDMI 2.0, USB type A, Ethernet port, another 2 more USB type A's, a mini display port, and a USB type C port. Another thing to note is that the USB type A ports, these are all USB type 3, so transfer speeds of up to 5 gigabits a second. Just another thing, yeah, this is the exhaust. These are more exhausts, more outtakes. Yeah, the fans here at the bottom, 2 fans, one for the GPU, one for the CPU of course. So basically when you have it down, it'll pull air from the bottom and then it'll exhaust air from the back or the side. I'm not sure if it's very noticeable on camera, but you'll notice that like on this side is a bit higher than on this side, so it just has enough room just to suck in air for those fans to cool the very beefy components. Another thing that I like about this laptop is the hinge. Simple. It opens with one hand, or you can open it from the corners. Yeah. Another thing to note is that it's one of these. You can do that. If that's your cup of tea, you want to do that. Now I'm going to go on to the specs. This thing has a Ryzen 7 4800 that's 8 cores and 16 threads. It came with 16 gigs of RAM at 3200 megahertz. It has an RTX 2060 with 6 gigabytes of GDDR6 RAM. So it's a gaming laptop, but it doesn't scream gaming laptop, so that's really nice. It's got a 512 gigabyte SSD, which is super fast. Now, I'm just gonna open this thing up. In terms of the design of the laptop from the inside, trackpad, very decent size, it's nice and responsive. Clicky, but it's not too loose, so very nice. In terms of the display, this is a 1080p panel that runs at 144 Hz, a peak brightness of 300 nits. Very bright laptop. You probably might not have it at full brightness the whole time. I'm a psychopath. I have this thing at full brightness all the time. So yeah, so let's just switch it on now. So the button will light up there. So as you can see, as I can see through my viewfinder, that the screen is very bright. It's reflecting on my skin. It's making me look a bit more orange, or making my skin look a bit better. So I'm just gonna turn down the brightness a bit. So yeah, here we go. Here's the laptop. It's got a nice RGB keyboard. I just have it set it up like this. It's got 4 zones of coloring. So there is this portion here, and then this portion here, and then the WASD keys. You can have that as a different color if you please, or if you would like. So yeah, it's very nice. This laptop has got some shortcut keys on it, so it's got a calculator shortcut key. I never really understood why they had a calculator shortcut key. I always thought that I wanted it to be reconfigurable, but turns out a calculator shortcut key is actually very helpful at times. Then there's the Omen Gaming Center. So basically what this is, it basically lets you get into the beefy laptop, sweaty laptop nerd stuff of this computer. So if we go here to the HP Omen section, so yeah, it might not come out very well through the screen here, but then we got stuff like network booster, lighting, performance control. So most average one, lighting. So you can see how I have my keyboard configured here. So four different zones of lighting. So let me just make this a little bit of a more obvious color, orange, one of my favorite colors. Then let's make this blue. So as you can see there, different zoning for your keyboard. But yeah, when we go to the HP lighting studio, it's a different lighting kind of thing. You can do different things. So as I have it here, I have it on a different setting where it just goes through different colors, which is very, very nice. There's one like breathing where it just pulses. And yeah, there's different kinds of settings that you can put here, but I either stick with the one where it keeps on flashing different colors, or it just stays as 3-4 different colors. So yeah, now I'm gonna talk about battery life for this device. Battery life, it all depends on how bright you're gonna keep this laptop. I get like 2 to 3 hours because I have this thing cranked up at 100%. When you crank it down to like 50% or just below 50%, you can probably get 4 or 5 hours out of it. I've never gone that far. I keep it at 100%. Yeah, so let me just talk about regular everyday performance with this thing. So I usually keep something such as Task Manager open every day just to see exactly what my computer is actually doing. Memory ranges for anywhere from 27% to like 40%. On the extreme side, it'll be at like 60% RAM usage. CPU usage, most of the time, it'll be chilling at like 10 to like 20%. It really, most applications are nothing to this CPU. The CPU is so powerful that the only thing technically holding this laptop back is the GPU and the amount of RAM I have. But overall performance is pretty good when I'm working in Photoshop or Illustrator. Fans aren't spinning up and it's working at optimal performance, even though the CPU is not even stressing at all. When I open Adobe Premiere and I'm editing like probably a 20-minute video, 15-minute video where all the collected footage is about 20 gigs all together, it handles it perfectly. Nothing to worry about until it comes to rendering. Rendering the span spin up a bit, but it's not too much of a problem. Rendering on this laptop is actually ridiculously fast. It is faster than real time of the video. With this laptop, if the video is like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, it compiles it in like 4 minutes, which gives me enough time to rewatch the video, see if I made any mistakes, go back, chop it up again, export it again, and do that again and again and again and again and again and again and again until I am satisfied with the video. So right now I'm just gonna show you guys the quality of the webcam. It's not gonna be that great. It's a laptop webcam. So this is the audio quality and the video quality you can expect from this laptop. It's not looking that bad. It's actually not bad at all. Compared to a smartphone camera, it's trash. But this is good enough. You can see me and my face and stuff. So I suppose it is good enough. And that's all I'm going to say for it. Now let's say I am running multiple applications, something such as Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Premiere all at the same time. It can handle it. Not a sweat. I've actually ran multiple game engines at the same time on this thing. I've ran Unity while I've had Unreal Engine 4 and the Unreal Engine 5 demo all at the same time, and it just handled it like an absolute champ. It's just an overall, all-around good laptop. The screen is fairly color accurate, so if you're a creative person who works in Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, or you do stuff such as Lightroom, or you're an artist who draws, who won't go wrong with it. 300 nits. Gets super bright, that to the point where it washes out on the camera, and it made everything around it darker. So yeah, so let me just turn this thing back down. Yeah, it's a very bright laptop. Bezels, fairly thin bezel. The only big bezel is the chin here. In terms of speakers, it's a gaming laptop, so speakers are not that great. They're better, but they're not that great. Okay, so here's something. This is it at max volume, so if I turn it down to like 50%, I'm not sure if it's still audible, but yeah. So that's the speaker side. In terms of portability, this thing doesn't weigh that much. You can pop it in your bag and walk around with it. So some of you guys at this point, if you've stayed all the way to this point in the video, you might be wondering, it's a gaming laptop though. Where's the gaming? I saved that part, ladies and gentlemen, for last. Now, one of the reasons why I prolonged this video is because I didn't have any games to play. But I have Xbox Game Pass. I've used Xbox Game Pass to the point where I have got so many games on this laptop. So I'm gonna plug this hard drive up because this is where I have all my games downloaded, and I'm gonna show you the performance of a few games. So right now we are actually in the game playing Forza Horizon 4, and I gotta say, this game on PC, it just looks absolutely amazing. And after all, I am running a Ryzen 7 and RTX 2060, and it just looks absolutely amazing. Just to mention, when I launched this game, this laptop automatically, the game automatically put everything on 1080p Ultra. 1080p Ultra, that is something crazy. I didn't think it was gonna run it that well, but as you can see on the top right hand corner where the FPS is, we are getting a smooth 70 FPS. A smooth 70 FPS. It could have gone up to 80 or 100 FPS or even more than that, but I'm also using OBS to record, and even though I'm recording at the same time right now, it is actually performing very well. The game will have some dips, but that is just Forza being Forza, like it. So here we are in Doom Eternal. We got a nice 980 to 90 FPS. Unfortunately, there are no people to murder and kill because I just started this level recently. So yeah, hopefully flame belch. Okay. So yeah, I guess that was a little thing with that. Next game we are playing is Crisis 3. Does this game look absolutely amazing? For what, a 7-8-year-old game? It really is a great looking game. It really is something. If I pull up these metrics here, I don't know what the metrics are, but this game really is something. Now that concludes the gaming portion of this video. Now I'm gonna get to the real fun stuff. I'm gonna open this laptop now. Keep in mind, I've opened this laptop before, so it's actually not going to be all too difficult. So there are 8 screws here on the bottom of the laptop. So we're just gonna start unscrewing it. It is completely off at the current moment, so roughly nothing to worry about. So since I have opened this laptop before, I know how the screw placement is. I know that I believe it's the screws here at the top of the laptop, the ones here towards the fan. I think those are a bit longer than the ones on the actual bottom of the laptop. So I'm just gonna flip it over just to get them all off. So yeah, here they are. I'm just gonna put those there. And then now we're just gonna move on to the screws here on the bottom of the laptop. So yeah, right now we're almost done. So these screws here on the flat side of the laptop towards more or less the trackpad. These screws, the stand bolts for these are a bit shorter. So keep that in mind. You don't want to swap it around, but it's much better this way because now you actually like can know where they go rather than them being randomly scattered all across the laptop. So there we go. We have them off like that. So here we have the laptop. As I said, the screws here at the top towards this side, they are slightly larger than these ones on the bottom. I'm not sure if it's going to be clear, but there we go. Now, taking the panel off is actually not the hardest thing in the world. So basically you're going to want to take something like a screwdriver, and then you're just going to want to go here towards the exhaust. And from there on, you just start unclipping it, and it'll just start to let go. Now, it may sound a bit tedious, but it's actually in a way the easiest laptop I have actually ever opened. So here's the bottom part of the laptop. Nothing too serious. I believe this is a plastic panel. So yeah, now we are inside the HP Omen 15, and I gotta say so myself, this is a beautiful looking laptop. It is a beautiful piece of hardware. Here we have the RAM slots. It is dual channel, so this has 16 gigs, 2 8 gig DIMMs running at 3200 megahertz. If you're using a Ryzen system, that's going to be very important because Ryzen really benefits heavily from high bandwidth memory. So the faster the RAM, the better. It uses NVMe SSDs. So yeah, it has 2 of them. Now, they are faster drives, and also since they are smaller, it allows them to put a bigger battery. This here is a 70 watt-hour battery, I believe. Yeah, these are fans. CPU fan, GPU fan. One thing that I might want to point out is that if you planning on getting a laptop like this, the HP Omen in specific, whether it be the HP Omen 15, the new one with the Ryzen 5000 processors and the RTX 3000 GPUs, these fans do get a little bit dirty, so you might want to get a can of pressurized air just to like spray off the dust, because I remember there were dust around these fans. Also for the new upcoming HP Omen 16, I would assume that the layout will be the same as this, and to open it will be the same. So just to go over some extra stuff, so this over here is the NVMe SSD drive bay that is open, so you can put another NVMe SSD in here, whatever size you want, as long as it'll fit in here. So as you can see here, it has this little covering over it. This is actually a heat pad. So some SSDs do get hot. I don't know how hot SSDs get, but you'll take off this heat pad and put it over the SSD, and then from there on you're gonna put this in here, slot it in here, then you're gonna screw the whole thing down. So I'm just gonna put this back as it was, because I do not have another SSD with me to put in. So yeah, that's basically the inside of the laptop. Here are the speakers right over here. So yeah, that is about it. Wi-Fi card, you can also replace that. This thing uses Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.0, I believe. So yeah, in this drive bay, this is the stock SSD that comes with the laptop. My laptop came with a 512 gig SSD, so that is very, very great. And now we're just gonna switch this thing on. And I did not break it. Yay. Can you hear the fan spinning? Just one thing about the fans. The CPU fan will probably be on most of the time. It's just that it'll barely be audible. It'll barely be audible. Sometimes it's completely off if you're not really doing anything intensive. Anyway, but yeah, this laptop is a perfect all-rounder, and if you were gonna get the HP 16, which is basically the same as this, just with a inch bigger screen, I'm pretty sure the layout for upgradability is the same. Music production, it can handle this easily. It's also got the SSD, so along with the SSD, if you have like a lot of plugins, it won't take like 10 minutes for it to open FL Studio or Cubase or Reason or Pro Tools or whatever your music production software of choice is. But yeah, this laptop is an all-round great laptop. If you want to find a good laptop that's good at everything you want it to do, this is the one. You won't be disappointed with it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I'm assuming that this will be a pretty long video, so if you guys stayed all the way till the end of this video, thank you very much. It means a lot to me, so if you will be so gracious and kind, drop a like down below. If it's your first time here, go check out some of my other videos. If you like my videos, subscribe, and yeah, it'll go a long way. Thank you all for watching. Peace.